This month of June 2020 for you as a Libra Rising is really interesting in the way that it emphasizes career, but finding a sustainable, authentic way of being productive that speaks to your soul. If you're excited to dive into what the astrology, what the tarot cards, and what the oracle deck cards have to say for you and your rising sign this month, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Hi, I'm Maren. I am a professional astrologer, current philosophy student, and witch proudly out of the broom closet. I combine traditional Hellenistic astrological techniques with modern psychological counseling dynamics in order to provide grounded spiritual guidance. So for June, there's not that many major transits, but the transits that are major are really major, so we're going to take a bit more time hashing out all of these transits for Libra Risings for June 2020. So, starting out on the 5th, there is a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius between your 3rd house, 9th house axis. This is a full moon on steroids, which I have a full video for linked down below, but this is a really important eclipse because it is marking the next 18-month cycle for karmic focus in the world along the lines of information processing and philosophical demystification. So for you, it's happening regarding letting go or the beginning of an ending in short-term travel, siblings, or communication endeavors. So a chapter around a writing project or a part of your routine that involves traveling could be really ending. It could mean there's so much focus for you around career right now that you could be like starting a new job in the coming months that's requiring you to wrap up things now and asking for you to emotionally grapple with what that means when a way of living is fading away, basically. So that full video is down below, which could be really important for you in the houses that it's covering for you right now. On the 18th, Mercury is stationing retrograde in Cancer in your 10th house. So this Mercury retrograde in Cancer is happening in your 10th house of career, public image, and like the way that you are presenting yourself in the workplace. So this is a reanalysis of the ways in which you're speaking, communicating, or thinking about your career as a means of a comforting, safe, nurturing environment for your self-growth. It's not necessarily like a super difficult Mercury retrograde, but it is one that asks for a lot of emotional contemplation about the way in which we are going about our career. So that's how it's a focus on career this month, but a focus in the way that is more internal as well. On the 20th, the sun is then entering Cancer in your 10th house, further focusing all the spotlight in this public part of your chart and the way that you're both presenting yourself as someone who is confident and secure, and also nuanced in the way that you're reconsidering ways of living that are not in congruence with your career goals or that make you feel uncomfortable in the way that you're going about presenting yourself. On the 21st, there is then a solar eclipse in Cancer in your 10th house, a new moon on steroids, which I have a full video on linked down below as well. This is a really important one for you to watch because this is happening in the most public, most career-focused part of your chart, a huge new beginning. It's kind of the last new beginning for you to plant seeds as the world changes. Like, what do you want to root down now as the world around us is shifting? What is the foundation that you find so important that you are stopping the world in your own life to make sure you pursue, that is authentic, that is rooted, and that comforts you in the way that you're dedicated towards a long-term career project? So this is like an incredibly public new moon for you because it's a solar eclipse in your 10th house, which is super prominent and busy. So expect this next 6-month period to be a launch pad for a new paradigm of honoring your inner child in the way that you grow up. Then on the 25th, Venus is stationing direct in your Gemini 9th house. So over the past few months, Venus has been retrograde in your Gemini 9th house, indicating a reanalysis of foreign relationships that you have with authority figures, the ways in which you value projects around education or higher education and spirituality, things that are Venusian and pleasureful in your 9th house of higher spirituality and foreign matters. So now that Venus is stationing direct in Gemini, it's like you're ready to go after pursuing the goals in higher, more foreign, or more elevated intellectual affairs that actually speak to your soul and make sense and that are aligned towards that career goal as well. On the 27th, Mars enters your Aries 7th house. So you have a lot of major transits this month as a Libra rising, definitely an active month for you this June, because Mars is going to be in Aries in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and the other. For the rest of 2020, Mars is going to spend a hell of a long time, about 6 months in Aries. Mars is at home in Aries, so it has a lot of resources to provide for itself, which is good, because Mars can signify trouble, decisive decisions, effortful drive, consideration of what needs to change. It can indicate obstacles and also the fact that you are really going after things. Within your relationship house, this could indicate that a chapter is severing in relationships. If I say breakup, you know, half the people out there are gonna faint. I don't necessarily mean it as cut and dry. I do mean that a chapter could be ending or that you're cutting something away. It could also mean that you're going after that in which you want. Mars can indicate assertivity and drive. It can also indicate like a hell of a lot of trouble. A good rule of thumb is that if you're born during the day, this is going to be more challenging. If you're born at night, it's probably going to be a bit more constructive or surmountable. So just take note that for the rest of 2020, relationships will probably be an area of your life in which you're putting effort into maintaining healthfulness in that area of your life. Finally, the month wraps up on the 30th with Jupiter conjoining Pluto in your Capricorn 4th house. So this is a dynamic that you are familiar with the crisis expanding around home and family for you. Nothing new here, but this is a month where that trauma drama or that really critical breaking point is, you know, breaking a little bit. It's just in the ebbs and flows of your Capricorn 4th house of home and family, it's an ebbing. So whether this deals with your parents, with the people you live with your property, nearing the end of the month, I would just watch out for some dramatic situations which require you to hang firm. So as you can see, this is an active month for you as a Libra rising, and it's indicating that it's time for you to make sure that your home environment is supportive of your emotional growth for long-term sustainable productivity. So if that speaks to you and your soul and you want to share any comments, any thoughts, let me know down below how you're feeling, how you're thinking. And now let's pull a tarot card from the Dark Angels Tarot deck, because this was a fitting month for that, for Libra risings. So we have Death inverted, which is a really interesting inversion because instead of a transformation happening, it's kind of like right now that is being stalled. So you might be in the middle of a move or a career change or a change of identity in like your relationships. And right now that's being on pause to make sure that that revision and that change is going smoothly. Like you're taking notice, you're taking an audit of all the changes you've made in order to have the most compassion for everyone involved in those changes. So finally, let's pull a Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck card for a final word of guidance for Libra risings. Ostara, incubation. Okay, so that speaks to death reversed as well. Let's see what comes up for this. What's the hurry, why the gloom? Your seed is safe within her womb. Await and trust now is the key, for life will bloom most readily. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be there it is done. So asking yourself if needing to move so quickly is of your highest good right now. It might be important for you to take some time to personally incubate on these matters. It might be time for you to take a breath and go internal around all the shifts that you have externally, so that as these things culminate around you, you are like walking away from the fire, like those movie scenes where the big explosion is behind you and you're just peaceful, and making sure that you aren't being hasty around other people's hastiness. So if you have any thoughts, anything you want to share, let me know down below. I know this is a really busy, active month for you, and I have faith that this will be a blip amidst a much smoother ride for months to come. Not that this is a difficult month necessarily, but it's an active month with a lot of energy. So as always, check out my private consultations down below. I would love to read for you if you're looking for guidance. Check out Rashi. Sending all the love. I will see you in the next video.
But there is one thing you're all